with the refines and then move on to everything else, basically. So thanks to Ree, as always, for posting the refines here. So we have Luthier going up first. Why don't we just go ahead and start with him since he's right here? Oh my god. Come on, every single time, I swear to God, these images, like, come on, man. Do I gotta, every single time, open up separate tabs and, like, do shenanigans? Ay, ay, ay. Yo, Reddit needs to do something about the way they handle images, because this is just absolutely infuriating, man. Okay, so there's Year Kaden. He's a 3-pager, which is interesting. All right, then we got Batmom all the way over there. 3-pager once again. And then we have Nanna. And that is everybody. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and start things off with Luthier up first. Now, this guy's pretty easy to get. He's a 3-star and 4-star demote, and he's been around for a while, so I'm sure people have gotten many copies of him. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit. It deals damage equal to 15% of unit's attack. Grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat. And recovers 7 HP after combat. Alright, then also for foes in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit. Inflicts attack speed and res -5 on the foe. Neutralize foes' bonuses to attack speed and res. And inflicts guard on the foe per attack during combat. Alright, nice little crux debuff that he's got there. And then finally, at start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, reduce damage from foe's first attack by 7 during combat. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Okay, so it's okay. I mean, it's not awful, but it's certainly not Erk level, unfortunately. Yeah, like, they gave that dude some crazy support. Like, he's given treachery support, and he's got flame, divine vein flame and all that. Like, unfortunately, Luthier is not doing all of that, but he's okay. As far as demote units go, he's okay. Alright, next up we have Aelfric, who is the GHB of this batch. So this guy got, for foes within 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, deals 10 damage to foe as their combat begins. Oh. That is reminding me of the attuned, who was it? It's attuned Triantra, I believe, where she does this, except it's not 10, it's only 5. So that's kind of neat. And then also inflicts attack and res -5 on those foes during their combat. If we're talking about, like, crux debuffs, this is actually pretty good. Like, we got some stat drops, and he's doing 10 chip damage as well. Yeah. Okay, off to a much better start than Luthier. Also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack and reduce damage from foes' attacks by 7 during combat. This is not their first attack. This is all of their attacks. Whereas, unfortunately, Luthier is only doing that on their first attack. So, here we are back with the 3 houses favoritism. Okay, now also recovers 10 HP to allies in 3 spaces a unit after their combat. If unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack and res -6 on the foe. Unit deals damage equal to 20% of unit's res. And grants special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack during combat. And recovers 10 HP after combat. Okay, that tapered down a little bit. The starting was really nice, right? Like the 10 chip, the crux debuff, and then also the 7 flat DR. All that stuff was pretty good. What would have really put this guy over the top is if he had like 20% of res as non-pierceable DR or 20% of res as true damage. So then you could stack like Lagu's friend on him and just really stack the numbers high. Not doing all that, unfortunately, but it's okay. It's something. For a GHB, that's something. The 10 chip damage for allies that are fighting enemies in 3 columns and 3 rows, that's not too shabby. Okay, next up we have Pent over here. Alright, so of course this is Erk's master, so if that's what Erk ended up getting, what is this guy gonna get? So, grants attack up 3. At start of turn, grants attack and speed up 6, and neutralize penalties on unit during combat, to unit and allies in 2 spaces a unit for 1 turn. And for unit and any support partner, magic, or staff allies in 2 spaces a unit. If special cooldown count is at max value, then grant special cooldown count -2. If cooldown count is at its max value, -1, then grants -1. Okay, so he basically did this before. I don't remember if he did -2, but I do remember he did -1 to Tome and Magic and Staff allies, basically, that were in 2 spaces of him. He would just cooldown pulse your party. So he was actually pretty good for a minute in Aether Raid's defense teams when, I mean, this is way back when we were running AoEs and we were running, like, times pulse units and infantry pulse units to, like, insta-charge specials and just, like, wombo combo the enemy with non-stop special activation. Not really where we're at right now anymore, but it's from a bygone era. So it's still pretty cool, though, to pulse allies, I guess. Okay, then also, at the start of combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, grants attack and speed up 6 and defense and res up 5 to unit. Reduce damage from... Ugh. Yeah, lost my voice for a second there. Okay, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 7 on the first attack and brave attack, and then also we get tempo as well during combat. So that's fine. And then the green portion at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants a bonus to all stats equal to the number of allies in 3 spaces a unit times 2 plus 5 with a max of 11. If support partner is in 3 spaces a unit, value is automatically 11. Deals damage equal to 20% of speed, excluding on AoEs. Would have been real nice if they allowed him to do that on AoEs, considering this guy's whole game revolves around cooldown pulsing and just, like, using AoE specials and all that. And then also reduce percentage of foes' non-special DR by half. I mean, yeah, he's alright. He's not really blowing me away. Tell me how the 3-star Eric got a better refine than this. What the hell, man? Yeah, but it's okay. It's not bad. He's got, like, some things going on. He's got the cooldown reduction. He's got some non-pierceable DR there. He's got some bonus damage based on speed and all that, but... And you look at his base stats, and it's not really quite there. Would like a little bit more. Alright, we got Fallen Dimitri up next. Hopes are not really set too high, considering what happened to Fallen Edelgard, but let's see. So, grants attack up 3. If unit initiates combat or is not adjacent to an ally, grants attack and speed up 6 to unit. Neutralize units' penalties to attack and speed, and deals damage equal to X% of units attacked during combat, excluding on AoEs. If unit can't do a follow-up, X is 50. Otherwise, X is 25. And also, if unit's attack can trigger unit special, grant special cooldown count -Y to unit before unit's first attack during combat. If unit can't do a follow-up, then Y is 2. Otherwise, Y is 1. Alright, so what we were doing with this guy back in the day, because even on release, his weapon was actually kind of bad. So what we would do is take that off and give him Ninja Yari, so he could just have brave attacking. And then his B skill was actually really good for the time, because it had Kanto Rem, and there weren't really any infantry units that had Kanto back then. Or there were so few and far between that having one that could use Kanto was actually pretty dope. But obviously, times have changed, so let's see what else he's got. Okay, he's got -1 special trigger now. That was another issue as well. He didn't have -1 cooldown when he originally came out, but now he does. Also, at the start of turn, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts speed defense -7, panic, and undefended. What? Undefended? On the closest foes and foes in 2 spaces of those foes through the next actions. Okay, that was unexpected. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, this is not mid-turn, right? This is at the start of turn, but it's chaining to multiple enemies, so in some ways, this is actually even better than Embla, who we're going to take a look at in a moment, but Embla has to line up with the enemies. She has to be in 3 columns of 3 rows of them to do undefended. This guy is just the closest foe in 2 spaces, and then chains to the closest foes in 2 spaces of them. So he could be, like, on the far left-hand corner of the map, and he can hit enemies that are on the far right-hand corner of the map. So, yeah, pretty good way to inflict undefended. Then also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants a bonus to attack and speed equal to 10% of unit speed at the start of combat plus 6. during combat, and also when units special triggers, neutralize foes' damage reduction effects from non-special skills. Yeah. So far, we're looking at our first place refine right here. Okay, we got the new Year Kaden up next. So he gets speed up 3 if he's transformed, or if his HP is over 75% at the start of combat. Then he gets attack and speed up 5. Inflicts attack and speed -5 on the foe. Deals damage equal to 20% of speed, including on AoEs. Okay. Why did he get that and Pent didn't get it? Where Pent could have actually used it. Alright, then also neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks and prevent units follow-up attacks, and neutralize penalties to attack and speed. So he's got no follow-up, basically. And then he's got the Cavalry Beast transformation effect right there. Okay, so the green portion for allies in 3 spaces a unit grants a bonus to all stats equal to the current bonus on each unit's stats. And ally deals damage equal to 50% of the total bonuses on unit during combat. Wow. Actually, wow. That's pretty crazy. Remember OG Kaden, how he was kind of a cool support type of unit because he could reflect his own stat, like his blue bonuses he could reflect onto allies as drive bonuses? Well, we're doing that here, but then we're also giving them bonus damage too, based on half of the total bonuses. So if this kid is at all stats of 6, he's giving basically 12 points of true damage to his allies in 3 spaces. That's kind of good, man. That's like, as a drive, and it's 3 spaces too. That's pretty lenient. It's not like it's 2 spaces or anything. So, yeah, I mean, we need effects like that. This is what we desperately need. We need more ways to do more damage so that we can just wreck the shit out of Burger King. Okay, touche, Kaden. Also, if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 5 to unit. Reduce damage from foes' first attack by 20% of unit speed, including on their brave attack or their second attack. And then increase it, or grant special cooldown count +1 to unit per attack during combat. Yeah, from what I'm getting here, you don't really want this guy to be in combat. You don't really want him fighting. What you want this guy to do, pretty much, is just have him stand back and just assist allies with the bonus damage that he's giving here. Could be interesting in Aether Raid's offense. I mean, you do have to do some positioning shenanigans, but he is a cavalry type, so he's able to get stuff like Shadow Shift and Shadow Smite and all that, so it could work. If you could figure out a way to, like, get him to be close by and just give all those bonuses, this could be potentially good. Alright, so we come to the remixes now. So we got Embla going first. Alright, so -1 special trigger. At start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit. Inflicts a penalty on the enemy's attack, speed, and defense equal to the number of foes in 3 rows of 3 columns. Center on unit times 3 with a max of 9. Was hoping they would have increased that, actually, because 9 was the original max. I was thinking they were going to bump this up to 14. Also, neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent units follow-ups. Neutralize effects that inflict guard and inflicts guard on the foe per attack during combat. Alright, doesn't really look like they messed with that too much. Her weapon, for the most part, seems exactly the same. And then she has the Flying Beast transformation effect. Alright, now also, at the start of player phase or enemy phase, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts speed and defense -7, discord, and schism on the closest foes and foes in 2 spaces of those foes through the next actions. Okay, just piling up on debuffs with her is good. Yeah, because in the instance that she's up against a unit like a Toon Micaiah or the Ninja Saline, who are able to penalty cleanse up to 2 penalties, normally they would just penalty cleanse her feud and her or her feud and her undefended, and that would be that. If you're just dogpiling on debuffs like Discord, Schism, and also undefended and feud, it's not a guarantee which 2 are going to be penalty cleansed by units like Micaiah and Saline. So you can kind of catch people off guard. So that is good that they gave her even more debuffs that she can do. And then also, if unit is transformed or if unit's HP is over 25% at the start of combat, grants all stats of 2 to unit. Wow, just 2? Why only 2? Why not more? Why not like 4 or 5 or something? I guess these count as like raw stat bonuses though, because it's the same as her transformation effect as a beast. She gets the flat attack up 2, which will be a raw bonus. I believe these are also raw bonuses as well. Huh. Alright, so she gets that, and then she also neutralizes the foe's bonuses to attack, speed, and defense. Deals damage equal to 20% of speed, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 7. Yeah, she's certainly a lot better than she was. How good is she going to be in Aether Raids, though? Ugh. I gotta think, man. Is she better than Loki, and is she better than Lay Radar? That's the question, because those are her competitors as a defensive bonus slot mythic. Those are the units that you would want to run her in place of, and is she taking the spot from either of them? I would say probably no. I mean, Lay Radar with his assigned decoy is a little better than undefended because it's harder for the enemies to remove that or deal with it. And then he still does Discord anyway, and he does Sabotage also, which is a little better than Schism overall, I would say. And then Loki just bonus cleanses as opposed to inflicting penalties, which bonus cleansing is where it's at right now. That's really good. So unfortunately, I don't think Embla is really going to shake things up too much in Aether Raids, but I do think she's going to be a very potent unit in Summoner Duels, actually, where you can just dogpile on debuffs in there, which is pretty good. Alright, and finally we have Nanna, who got skipped in line so many times. Let's see if all of those cuts in line were building up to something here. So, gets attack up 3. At start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack and speed up 6 to unit. Neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent units follow-ups. Neutralize foes' damage reduction effects from non-special skills. And prevents foes' specials triggered by units attacked during combat. So that includes Miracle, that includes Pavis and Aegis, and all of those defensive specials. She just nullifies all of them. And then recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. Okay. Alright, now the rest is at the start of combat. If unit's HP is, or if unit is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants nullify foes' bonuses during combat, and Hexblade to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants a bonus to attack and speed equal to the number of allies in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit times 2 plus 6, with a max of 12, and deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed during combat. Okay, so they did give her bonus damage based on speed, which I was hoping for. So she's going to hit a little bit harder. They gave her Hexblade and neutralize enemy bonuses as status effects, which is fine. Man, I feel like she just needs to hit a little harder, though. That's the problem. Bonus to attack and speed, possibly up to 12. Yeah, it's not like you can... I mean, her B skill is okay with the remix, right? But, like... What is the A skill that you're giving her? I guess Blue Skies? Or Excel or something? Huh. Yeah, I feel like she just needs a little bit more damage, but... I don't know, I guess for what she is, she's just a legendary hero that you're going to run when it's her bonus season. I guess that's fine. So, who do we have winning this batch? That's a tough one, man. I kind of want to say Kaden? Like, who would have expected New Year Kaden out of this batch would have ended up winning? But, like... This support is pretty good. We don't really have drive support like this, where you're giving allies in combat like a massive amount of damage like that. Dimitri was pretty solid with his undefended chaining from anywhere on the map. That's pretty good. Like, unlike Embla, who has to line up with the enemies, he could just be anywhere and do it. Yeah, but I'm not really feeling like anyone here is just an absolute standout, but the ones that do pop up are Kaden here for me. I would say Kaden and Fallen Dimitri, I think, are probably leading the pack, and then Obviously, Nanna and Embla just got a little bit more than everybody else because they got upgraded passives. But weapon-wise, I feel like Nanna probably could have gotten a little bit more damage, and then Embla, I think Embla's okay, but they probably could have gave her a little bit more stats, actually. Because, like, over here, where I said, like, they only kept the max of 9, they could have bumped that up to 14 pretty easily. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about these refines, man. Not really the craziest, but not bad, actually. Everybody got something, at least. Yeah, even Aelfric with his 10, like, his better than attuned for Yandra chip damage is pretty cool. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is your boy Tacho signing out, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.